Hello, class 11th physics, chapter thermal properties of matter, questions based on calorimetry. The same questions are useful for class 10th ICSC students as they also have heat chapter. So, here we go. By imparting heat to a body, its temperature rises by 15 degrees Celsius. Find corresponding change on Kelvin scale. It is an objective type question, so answer is 15 Kelvin. So how is it? We can directly write that, but how is it? Because what is given, T2 minus T1, and for small t we can say it is in Celsius scale, so it is given 15 degree Celsius. So if we require um, in Kelvin scale, means capital T2 minus capital T1. For Kelvin temperature we use capital T is equal to, and we know that capital T is T plus 273.15. I'm ignoring that, minus, actually it is T2 now. I have converted this T2 into small t2. This is in Kelvin, this is in Celsius. Now I'm changing this, so it will be T1 plus 273, which is T2 minus T1, because when bracket will open it will minus and it will be minus, so minus minus they will get cancelled, so it will remain T2 minus T1, which is 15. But this time, as we have converted it into Kelvin, so it will be this time the numeric value is 15, so now it is 15 Kelvin. Remember this thing, if we talk about change, so change in Celsius scale is same as change in Kelvin scale. Next, calculate heat capacity of copper vessel of mass 150 gram. All right, so before to begin with about these question on calorimetry, here are some constants. Specific heat capacity of water 4.2 into 10 to the power 3. Actually these values were given there in your exams or any competitive exams or anything else. So but we need to understand these specific. Okay, people can ask that heat capacity, value for heat capacity is not given. So as I told you, heat capacity varies from body to body. So um, body of any shape, any material, so that is related to a body, but specific heat capacity is related to material like water, some other thing, and so and so. All right, so in joule per kg Kelvin it is like this, and this entire is 1 kilocalorie, and kilo means 1000, so 1 into 10 to the power 3 calorie. And latent heat of fusion 80 kilocalorie, 80 calorie per gram, 80 kilocalorie per kg, and in joule per kg it is this one, this much. All right, calculate the heat capacity of copper vessel of mass 150 gram if specific heat capacity of copper is this. How much energy will be required to increase? Okay, so C, actually capital C, heat capacity C is equal to, we know, delta Q by delta T, and specific heat capacity is delta Q by M delta T. So if we replace this value here, we can say C by M. This is the relation between specific heat capacity and heat capacity. If we divide heat capacity by mass, it will become specific heat capacity. So here specific heat capacity we have, mass we have, so we can find heat capacity. C equal to C multiplied by M. But keep this thing in your mind, which unit we are choosing. So C is 410 and M is in 1 grams. It is 150 gram. So we have to convert it into kg. 150 upon 1000. So it will be 615. and double zero, so divided by 1000. Unit for heat capacity. Okay, first I will simplify this. So it will become 61.5 joule per kg, as I have converted it into sorry, Kelvin, joule per Kelvin. This is what the unit of heat capacity is, joule per Kelvin. Next, how much energy will be required to increase temperature of vessel given above by 10 degrees Celsius? See, here value is in Kelvin, here we have obtained it in Kelvin, but this is the change in degrees Celsius. But remember, delta T means in Celsius is 10 degrees Celsius. So delta T in Kelvin will also be 10 Kelvin. There will be no change, as I told you in this problem. So now heat is required. So using this formula, delta Q is equal to C delta T. C is 61.5 multiplied by 10. So it is 615 joule. Next, a piece of iron of mass 2 kg has thermal capacity, means heat capacity, 966 joule per Kelvin. And see, it is not the thermal capacity of iron, it is thermal capacity of that piece of mass 2 kg. It will vary from body to body. So find heat energy needed to warm it by 15 degrees Celsius, and second, specific heat capacity. All right, so heat capacity is given 966 joule per Kelvin. Mass is given, okay, later on we require it. All right, it is given in Kelvin. So delta T, once again I'm not writing a small delta T and then capital delta T directly. I'm writing delta T will be 1 Kelvin, 15 Kelvin directly. So that's so easy. We know C equal to delta Q by delta T. It means delta Q is equal to C delta T, and that is 966 multiplied by 15. Answer will be in joules. I'm not going to calculate it. I'm turning a bit lazy to calculate it. And later on, find specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity is delta Q by M delta T. Either you can put values here. Q is this, whatever be the product of these two, you can put. And mass 2 kg, delta T 15. You can solve it and see it is 966 by 2. Or what we did earlier here, that small c is actually capital C by M also. And this is what we are getting here. So ऐसे भी रख सकते हैं, whatever click you in the exam, do it accordingly. 966 directly upon 2, same thing. Be careful about its unit. I'm not solving it completely, do it yourself. But final unit will be joule per kg Kelvin. Now this is interesting. Hot water of mass 200 gram at 80 degrees Celsius. So mass of water 1. Oh, so many subscripts. 200 gram, I'm directly writing it 0.2 kg. It is better to use these SI units, and when we have given these values in SI units, the constants and all that. Added to 300 gram of cold water. Mass of water second 300 gram, 0.3 kg. Okay, so it is at 80 degree Celsius. So here I am writing T1, 80 degree Celsius, and here T2, 10 degree Celsius. So do we require to convert these into Kelvin? Uh, Answer is yes or no, both. So if you don't want to get yourself confused, convert it into Kelvin. But if you are understanding this concept well, so you can understand that this Kelvin can be replaced by Celsius, and there is no loss. There is no, not a big issue, because this Kelvin comes due to change in temperature. In the formula, it is not simply a temperature but change in temperature. So we can easily replace it. In fact, we can easily write it like this. And in the same way, we can use these value, but just keep this thing in your mind, whether we are converting it into Kelvin and then reporting the answer in Kelvin, or we are retaining them as Celsius and reporting the answer in Celsius. Okay, so if common temperature is T, then so I'm not converting them into Celsius, so my answer will be in Celsius. So if I would convert them into Kelvin, my answer would be in Kelvin. So if common temperature is T, then heat lost by hot water is equal to heat gained by cold water. So heat lost by hot water, M1 was hot, yeah. C and delta T, how will delta T change? This temperature minus this temperature. The common temperature will be less than this higher temperature, but greater than this lower temperature. So this minus this. Right now I'm writing symbolically T1 minus T, and that is equal to heat gained, M2 C again, because both sides there is water, so C will remain same. And here, how will we find change in temperature? This minus this, T minus T2. CC will get cancelled. Now we can put the value. So, well, here I converted them into kgs, but it wasn't required because both sides it would be in gram. But that's a good habit to write the values in SI units. That's all. So now we can put the values. M1 is 0.2, C is not there, T1 80 minus T equal to 0.3, T minus 10. Now this is simply algebraic question now. It will be 16 if we multiply them, minus 0.2 T, 0.3 T minus 3. So it will be 19 and it is 0.5 T. So T will be 38 and of course degree Celsius. So next, 1 kg water contained in a 1.25 kilowatt kettle. So quite new thing. Its power is given. So don't look it at P power, but see it through this way: energy upon time, or in fact heat energy upon time, Q upon T. Time, it is time, not temperature. Calculate time taken for temperature of water to rise from 25 degrees Celsius to boiling point. Uh, Remember, it is still water, not vapor. So it is still water at 100 degrees Celsius. Why I'm telling you that? Because this question is all about the water phase 25 to 100. And if it is now converting, it would be converting into vapor, then it will be still 100 degrees Celsius, but at that time it would require latent heat to change the phase. But this question is not all about to change its phase. It is water at 25 degrees Celsius, it is water at 100 degrees Celsius. This time we are not considering vaporization. All right, so the simple question, okay, but we'll begin it with this. P equal to Q upon T. I'm writing it delta Q, it looks cool, upon T. T is time. I'm putting subscript time also. So I could write entire time here. Anyway, so delta Q is M C delta T. I'm using capitals so that we would not be confused about this and this. This is time, this is temperature. So, and once again, these are in Celsius and I will use them in terms of Kelvin. M is 1 kg, so now it is easier to calculate. Second thing, C. C is specific heat capacity of water. In SI unit, it is 4.2 into 10 to the power 3 joule per kg per Kelvin. Remember that. Delta T, 100 minus 25, and I repeat, uh, this temperature difference is in Celsius as well as in Kelvin, both will be same. Divided by time, we don't know the time, but value of P is 1.25 kilowatt. 1.25 kilowatt means 10 to the power 3. I'm not writing unit here, so it looks like this. So T will be 4.2 into 10 to the power 3 into 75 upon 1.25 into 10 to the power 3. So the good thing I can do this thing. Next, one place shifting of decimal, 42 into, actually you people can do this calculation of your own, but okay. So now 25 5s are 25 3s are, and 5 6 are 42 6 is 252 seconds.